Today for our 106th Hippopotamus defense video, we got a game from my guy, Jurua. And Jurua here really shows off some great chess as black. He got the over 6-hour course on the Hippo, and in that course I talk about one idea, a more rare one that you use from time to time, but this idea of getting the queen to the corner. And he uses this idea in this game in beautiful fashion. This game here was inspiring for me. Some great chess from Jurua here. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, big shout out to you, brother. And thanks for sending in this game. So against the move of d4, we have the move of d6. There's different ways of thinking about this move. I mean, if something like c4, we could play e5. We're in an English rat defense kind of position there. If e4, we're in a Peert's defense. Whether they play e4, c4, knight f3, whatever, we can go into our Hippo kind of setup with g6 and bishop g7. That's one thing that we can try to get after. Here, g3 and b6. I actually like this move here. Usually I don't. Because oftentimes this bishop is a threat to come to b5. And I really want to develop this side first before I even play b6. That way the bishop can't slither in. But in this case, the bishop's not a threat of going there. And in fact, in the last Hippo video covering Nick's game, I talked about this idea. But in this case, the main threat from the bishop is fianchettoing. So let's play b6 and just get our bishop there just in time. That way the bishop is not breathing down our queen side to the point where we're worried about playing b6 at some point. We already got it in. Now it's the easy part. e6, tucking in the knights, playing a6, playing h6. And here the move knight c4. White setup's honestly kind of strange. In the game here, we have the move of queen to b8, which is black starting to go into this idea. However, the engine move here, which is interesting idea, is bishop d5. Now, this isn't a common idea in the Hippo. I'm not going to add this to the list of middle game ideas to think through every single time because, honestly, it's really just dependent on white's weird play. But the knight is pinned here. The knight is pinned to the queen, and we are threatening b5. So here, white's got to play knight e1. In that case, we can take on g2, and the engine likes knight takes. Now, whether the knight or the king captures back, either way, we've weakened our queen side. That's a con. That's not good. At the same time, though, it's not good for white either that they weakened their king side. I will weaken one area of my board if their king gets less safe, if their king gets, a little bit loose. So my queen side loose, their king side is loose. I'm good with it because my king is not here. Their king is here. I think that's a great way to go about things. But against the move knight c4, we instead see this move of queen to b8. Black here still with a better position according to the engine against a lot of different things that white will do. Apparently, the best move here for white is playing queen to c2, which is what they did. And we're looking at a just about dead even position. And a lot of things can happen here. In the game, we have this move of queen a7, this queen looking to tuck. And here's the idea. You get your queen over to a7. Notice we're doing this all in our own little 3 ranks. Okay, we're not messing with white directly. We're not making any threats right now. We are very quietly on our own side of the board, on our 3 ranks, that is, adjusting our pieces into an optimal spot. Here's the idea. You tuck your queen. By the way, I don't recommend this if there's a bishop on e3, but there's no bishop there that's able to start trying to break your queen open, so we're fine. e4 is played. You're going to get your rook out of there, drop the queen back to a8. Love this position for black. You got a battery ram going against e4, 2 attackers, only 1 defender, and a lot of ways white can mess this up. In the game, we have the move of knight c to d2, which is white's best move, actually. But if we move like d5, guys, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 attacking pieces on it. We just take it. We're up a pawn. If you want to go with e5 instead, well, the knight drops. The knight drops. The bishop, okay, the queen takes back. Right? There's so many things that can happen here. So many ways of playing this kind of position for black. A really rich kind of position. But knight c d2 is what we see here and now. How can we keep adding pressure on that pawn? Knight f6. Knight f6. Again, another great move from Jurua. And yeah, I mean, there's different things that white can try to do here, but the best thing white can do is just play knight e1 and go, you know what, I'm just going to defend that pawn. I'm just going to defend it. I'm going to guard it. But of course, in that case, we can't play knight g4, attack the bishop. If you play bishop f4, let's keep attacking it. If you want to take, fine, we'll capture back. If bishop f3, let's get something for that knight. Let's get something for that knight, then take. And continue now with castling kingside. White's king is very loose, not very safe in my opinion. And if you look at piece activity, it's very interesting. All of our pieces are on the 7th and 8th ranks, but our pieces are way more active than white's. Way more active. Our rook, fantastic. Our bishop, great. I mean, both of these pieces are very active as well. White's pieces, on the other hand, none of them are really amazing me. They're just not. So, yeah, I mean, black here with a lot of activity, a lot of play going forward. We could, end up barreling down on both of these files at some point. And white's feeling the pressure here. They're feeling the heat. World Hippo Day was on February 15th. And because of that, until the end of February 20th, I'm giving out a 30% off discount code for my Hippo Defense course over 6 hours of content. If you're interested in that, go down to the link below. Go down to the description, go down to the pinned comment, plug in the discount code World Hippo Day, and you will receive 30% off on your order. Going back, if instead of going for that knight on g4, we see something like bishop to e3, okay, we take it. And white here with double isolated pawns. This is not great. In the game, though, we see the move of pawn to d5. In that case, Drew out here goes, okay, fine, I'll take the pawn. And here e5, okay, I'll take again. White ends up capturing back. We're up a pawn. Most of the time in the game of chess, if you're up a pawn, you are objectively winning. Most of the time. In this case, we have castle kingside. b4 is played. Here, white probably trying to get some attacking chances, but, I mean, you got 3 against 4. I don't think it's looking too good there. Rook f8, bishop d4. How can we improve our position? How can we improve our activity? Knight f5. Love this move. Great play here. Attacking the bishop. And this next move is really amazing. h4, which again, I don't really know what white's doing there except weakening squares, but c5. c5. Here, Drew realizes that this bishop is the lone defender, the sole defender of that knight. Let's try to get rid of it. Let's try to distract it. White can take this all day long. If you do that, we win your knight. We just take it right off the board. We're up 3 points of material. We're simply up a minor piece. So, okay, in the game instead we have knight takes f7, the knight trying to get something for itself, and now the calm capture back with the king. The bishop takes, we capture back, h5. We're just up material now. Be careful here. Okay, you don't want to take the pawn or play g5 and lose your knight. That's not good. And this is a reminder, too, to not get super upset with yourself if you're not always playing the engine moves. Engines will play really weird. Now, if you're seeing a double question mark on chess.com, that means you've blundered. That's something you want to look into. But in general, it's like this position here. In the game, the move of knight e7 is played. Love that move practically. Of course, the engine's going, oh, play d4 here. Just play d4. And then if takes, just take with the king. You're fine. For me, the moment I see this, I'm rewinding the tape. I'm not doing this. Why would I want this? I know that I'm winning here. I know that I'm winning. Will I win? We'll see. If I don't mess it up, I will. But I know I'm winning. So why would I play risky here? Why would I bring my king out to g6? Just play safe. Knight e7. Defend the pawn. If white takes, you take back, just like black did here. It's great. White captures, we capture again. We're up a piece. We're up a piece. The name of the game here is trade down. The rook takes the open file. We have king to g7, getting that king a little bit more teched. Rook b6. How can we limit the activity of that major piece? Bishop c6. Just get in the way of it. Knight c4 is played. We now have knight back to e7. Knight e3. White here trying to jump around like crazy. Rook b8. When you're up material, trade down. That's exactly what we see here. Trading down. Queen e2. d4. Playing aggressively. Opening up this side of the board, but also not playing too crazy. I mean, sure, queen g4 can be played, but then king h7. We have full ownership of this diagonal. g6, f5, and e4 are all covered, so the queen nor bishop can check us right now in any kind of meaningful way. And, okay, white takes, but we simply see capturing back. Knight f5, bishop takes g2, snatching off the bishop. Knight takes e7. Bishop takes e7 is winning, but here we see the engine move of queen to e4. And, yeah, white seemingly resigned here. Love this move. Offering a trade. Here, Drew realizes that he is up material. He is up material. If these queens can fall off, that's great for him. And, okay, if something like queen h5, we can take back the knight. We're going up more material than even before. And if the queen ends up taking, okay, we capture back. Hope you enjoyed this one. I wanted to finish this video out by saying thank you to Walter, Rob, Steve, Rob, and Ray for helping make this February 2025 video possible, as well as the rest of my Patreon community. I appreciate you guys a ton. And if you haven't thought about becoming a patron before, there's some exclusive benefits that you gain by doing so. And I look forward to seeing you over there on the platform. Peace.